This is News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. I am Matt Martin. Sitting in with me is Steve Evans, and we have Dr. Kathy Rollo in studio right now to talk a little bit about Lubbock ISD.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. So do y'all have anything big going on right now? I don't know, like end of school or something big?
Well, we actually we're in the tail end. We have 3 more weeks of school, including this one. So
isn't this prom week? Are all the proms going on?
We had some this past weekend, and we have some this weekend.
Yeah, that's fun. I know that I had I was talking about it last night because we were watching that 70s show. Love that TV show. It just makes me laugh. And they had prom on there, and I was talking to my wife about it, and I'm like, I didn't take anybody to my prom. We just went and had fun, and I said I don't remember much about it except that it was dark. Like they had all the lights down, and it was dark. And she said, oh, they had all the lights up on my prom. I don't know why they'd turn the lights off. Like, they had like the lasers and the big ball and all that stuff. They had all the lights. And I just remember sitting down and I'm like, how can people dance in this? They can't even see. But yeah, I don't remember much about my prom. But a lot of people love prom, and so that's cool.
I actually went to the prom with my husband.
Yeah?
Now, we weren't married at the time.
Yeah,
but
that's cool. No, I didn't get married until I was 30. So I was a little older. But this is Teacher Appreciation Week.
It is.
And what appreciating your teacher, what are some of the things you'd recommend to do just to kind of say I appreciate you?
Well, it's the little things, and sometimes it's just telling them how much you appreciate them. That's really the best thing that you can do, is just making sure that you tell your child's teacher how much you appreciate them. Mm-hmm. They hear negative things, but often their jobs are thankless. So I think just...
Should you make your children go in and force them to appreciate their teacher?
Have your children write their teacher a note. They love that.
Take them an apple. No, but so I know that every year we try to get a gift. I mean, we can't spend a lot of money, but some like a gift card or something. And I know that something that teachers, and I'm sure you can't promote that, but something that teachers need sometimes is they actually buy supplies for their classrooms, and so getting them maybe a Walmart gift card or something that they can use for their classroom would be a good thing. And then anything you could do to help them get away. I know a lot of people do Starbucks gift cards, or maybe a restaurant that's nice that they can get a chance to go out and have fun. I'm doing this. I'm not putting any words in her mouth. This is all me. I'm making recommendations here. But anyway, just to show your appreciation to a teacher. I mean, they spend all year with your student, and they take care of your kid for hours during the day. They probably see your kid more than you do sometimes, and you need to appreciate them for what they're doing for your kid.
I think words of appreciation are greatly appreciated. One of my favorite gifts that I received when I was teaching was one of my parents actually brought dinner for me to take home that day, so I didn't have to cook. So that was that one just stands out in my mind.
I want to throw a curveball. How big of a problem is it where teachers are actually having to buy supplies for their classroom? We hear about that a lot in Lubbock school districts. How big of a problem is that really?
Well, every teacher does get a supply budget. Sometimes they want to spend more than what that budget is. It just depends on if they need it at the last minute and if they can wait for it to be ordered, or if they need to go buy it just because they need it the next day. We do give teachers supply budgets, though.
So we're not one of those school districts that if the teacher doesn't buy it out of their own pocket, they're just not going to get it. So they're forced to kind of go out and buy supplies to help their classroom. So you could help with the above and beyond, the extra nice things that the teacher does for their students with a gift card. But.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Just as far as the end of schools, is there anything parents need to be doing as far as end of schools coming?
Well, please register your student online at www.lubbockisd.org/registration.
So I did that last night. We got our kids registered.
That's great, Matt.
But I have to ask, what's the point of registration? I mean, if nothing's changed in your life, you're still at the same house, you're still doing the same. I mean, We're never moving. I mean, we're not going to, because moving is a pain, and I don't want to put myself through it ever again. But what's the point of registration?
Well, it's great that you're not moving, but we do have lots of parents that do relocate. And so it helps us keep current on addresses, telephone numbers. Sometimes parents have changed where they're working, so it gives the parent a chance to update all of their information, and it just is a refresh so that we know who is where and we can plan for next year.
Okay. Are there programs that the school district continues to operate throughout the summer? Anything that goes on? I mean, you don't shut your doors and turn the lights off and see you next year. Is there other programs that continue all through the summer?
Yes, we do have some different summer programming. We have summer school for 5th and 8th graders who need to retake the STAAR test. So that's offered at every elementary and middle school. We offer Superintendent Scholars, which is a course in the summer that's designed to help students with their SATs. There's lots of different programming. If you look on our website, we actually have a link to summer programming. There's some bilingual programming for students that's available. Several of our schools do what we call Summer Bridge, where they bring in, kind of like a fish camp, they bring in the incoming 6th graders into middle school and then incoming freshmen into high school to get them ready before school starts.
Like a military hazing kind of thing?
No hazing.
Like that.
No hazing.
We discourage the hazing thing.
So bringing up STAAR test, I and this is just something I remember because my mom, of course, is a teacher. She was talking about it, but there apparently were some inappropriate language on the 5th grade STAAR test this year. What is it that LISD can do to make sure that doesn't happen again? I know it's done at the state level,
yes,
but the state had a big oopsie. Is there a lot of complaints? What is it that's possible with that?
Well, it was a field test item, so it was not in every student's test. Yeah. So that's one plus. It was a small handful of students that actually received that copy of the test. And there's really not anything that we can do. Okay. We're not allowed to look at that test ahead of time.
Or say, hey, state, get your stuff together.
Well,
something.
I think the state has had lots and lots of feedback on that. Okay. So
yeah, there's a big oopsie. And so as far as STAAR test, I know that you have your 5th grade STAAR test, you have 8th, and then is there one more in the high school level for graduation?
We have the end of course exams, and those are actually going on this week, and then some more next week.
So what's the point of STAAR testing?
Well, it helps us to see, number one, how well are we teaching the state standards. The STAAR tests are aligned to what the state says students need to know and be able to do, and so it helps us see our students learning those standards, and that it helps us also make adjustments to our curriculum if we see that a large percentage of students aren't doing well on a certain item. Then we need to teach that differently. So there's some, it helps us see where students are, and then it helps us make some curriculum decisions as well.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and take the break, and we'll be back with Dr. Kathy Rollo. We'll be right back. This is News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. I'm Matt Martin. Sitting with me is Steve Evans, and we've got Dr. Kathy Rollo, Superintendent of Lubbock ISD, and she's answering questions. And you said we had a few text questions.
Yeah,
or a text question
off the text line. What's going to happen with Dunbar?
All right, so Dunbar, along with 3 of the elementary schools that feed into Dunbar, Alderson, Irvin, and Hodges, are now going to be a part of what we call the Lubbock Partnership Network. It is a nonprofit that is partnering with our school district to operate those 4 schools. So Dunbar is going to be an ACE campus, which is short for Accelerated Campus Excellence. The school day is going to be extended by an hour, and teachers who are there will be paid an extra stipend for being there, and we have made sure that we are staffing Dunbar with some of our best teachers in the district. They'll have extended time for learning. Teachers will have very targeted, innovative professional development, and they will actually keep the school open next year till 6 o'clock and offer enrichment activities after school for the students, and then they will have the opportunity to have dinner at school as well.
So is this about raising the level of the school, or is this about having a school where students who are already doing excellent would go?
It is about raising the level and the expectations for the students at Dunbar.
Okay. Yeah.
In a follow-up to a question I asked you earlier about summer programs, there's a summer feeding program, and we were talking about it off the air for a minute. I'm not really that familiar with it, but what is that program, and what's available out there for people that are having a hard time? They use the school to feed their kids.
Yes.
They don't have any other way, so there is programs that continue through summer. So what is that program and how does it work?
We do offer summer feeding programs on several of our campuses in our most food insecure neighborhoods. And students and their families can go up to the school at lunch and have a hot meal. And it's just a great way to make sure that our students do not go hungry during the summer.
And this isn't anything they have to register for. They just show up at one of the sites. And we're trying to get the sites... we don't have them at the moment.
Is there a place that it will be posted at some point?
It will be posted on our website, and it's administered through Aramark, our food service partner, and it's a federal program.
And as we were talking at the break, Junior League of Lubbock also contributes to the program with, you call it a backpack program?
Yes, Junior League has been so supportive for many years with the backpack program, which gives the students on Friday afternoons during the school year a bag with non-perishable food that they can take home so that they do not go hungry over the weekend. And then they also offer some of those bags during the summer as well.
So we had a bond this year. Are we going to see any construction this summer?
You will see construction starting very, very soon. Our first order of construction will be at Hardwick Elementary in the addition that we're putting there, so that we will not have portables.
Okay.
So, but you'll see some groundbreaking on lots of different projects.
And there's a brand new elementary building built, right?
Yes, it's in North Lubbock. It's at our current Mahon site, which is on Cesar Chavez, and we are so excited. The Educator Design Input Committee has been meeting. They'll have their last meeting coming up shortly, and they've been giving their input, and they've been touring some other schools. And so we're really, really excited. The design work is happening right now, and construction on that building should start in January.
Oh, that's cool. So
I wasn't going to hit you with this, but we're getting too many texts about it, about standardized testing and the complaints that there's just too much. And you're following the state law. How much input does you and your staff have to the legislature? Do you get to lobby? Do you have groups that lobby on your behalf to the legislature? Are you working with any groups to try to reduce the number of standardized tests, or is that something that you just can't be involved in and you got to let the state work it out?
Well, right now, Lubbock ISD is a member of the Texas School Alliance, and so that organization lobbies on our behalf, as well as the Texas Association of School Administrators, and then various other organizations that teachers belong to and principals belong to also lobby on our behalf. There are concerns that we are testing students too much with state-mandated tests. I mentioned earlier that it does help us see if students are mastering the objectives that the state has set forth. It's not the testing that we're as concerned about as the high stakes that go along with the testing. Yeah. There is a bill on the floor right now that is asking for the test to be given in smaller amounts. Right now, we pretty much take 4 hours to give the test, and it's done once a year. But this bill shortens the test, but you give it more often.
So is there a lot of problems with anxiety? I mean, is that a problem in the school? And do you have counselors that help these students with that? Or
I would like to say that there are not students who are anxious about it because we have them ready, but that would not be true. Mm-hmm. Different students take that anxiety in different ways. We try. When I was a principal, I always told our teachers, I do not want to. It was toss at the time. I do not want to hear the word toss when I'm walking down the halls. We just teach the students, and then they just show us what they know when they take the STAAR. But I know that.
So is the last STAAR test the 8th grade test?
We take STAAR 3rd through 8th, and then we take the STAAR end of course exams in high school.
Would you get a better response if the kids didn't even know they were doing it? It was just it was broken into segments, and randomly you come in Wednesday, hey kids, take this test today. There's no anxiety. It's a smaller test. Would you get a better cross section of what they're actually are capable of, or what they've actually learned. If it was that random.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I think it is important as educators that we at least spend a little bit of time and show kids how things will be tested on the STAAR so that they know what that looks like.
Is it done on a computer or is it done on paper?
Both.
Okay.
Some students take it on a computer and some take it on paper.
Okay. Well, we're running out of time. Is there anything else that you want to highlight before you take off?
Just thank you to our teachers and nurses, because Nurses Day is tomorrow. So
Thank
we
those
appreciate our
teachers.
teachers.
All right. We'll be right back after this.